My name is Jeff Wright. I'm a chartered surveyor, a specialist in retail and restaurant property. I've been involved with the regeneration of Covent Garden and advised government agencies on the regeneration of the Elephant and Castle. I am responsible for the business part of the Neighbourhood Plan. In this video, I'm going to focus on the background information and potential strategy for the retail section of the plan. Put simply, a neighbourhood development plan is a way to decide what property should be developed, where, and what the nature of that property should be, together with the infrastructure and environmental additions. The local economy and retail section of the plan falls firmly within the area of property prioritisation. The plan cannot force change, but it can encourage and control it to the betterment of our village centre. Bookham Village Centre contains approximately 41 retail units and a further 31 units including restaurants, financial services and estate agents. This is less than the other centres in the district apart from Fetcham. There are no large food stores in Bookham, but there are 2 small supermarkets and a selection of independent specialist shops, including butchers, greengrocers and fishmongers. The High Street, Church Road and Lower Shot form the retail spine of the village with 65 units. Units in Lower Road, in Church Road north of Deborah and in Beckley Parade are not included as part of the village centre, but nevertheless do play an important role in the village context. Beckley Parade is essentially a destination location. It is occupied by retailers that are not dependent upon footfall. They do not require a high street location, and so we have units such as the fish and chip shop, Chinese takeaway, the fancy dress hire shop and the model shop. The current planning policy designates Bookham as a district centre, catering for the day-to-day needs of the local community. The council's strategy for delivering this vision includes maintaining the vitality and viability of the centre and safeguarding the existing provision of shopping floor space. The general thrust of these policies aim to keep the character, but modernisation is needed to reflect the changing nature and challenges facing all high streets, whether big or small, over the 10 to 15 year Bookham Neighbourhood Plan period. In late 2012, Bookham Vanguard commissioned AMT to produce a benchmarking study to provide a statistical and empirical means of assessing Bookham in the context of standard-sized towns and villages nationally and in the southeast. This has provided a useful contribution to assessing what local people perceive they want to see from their high street and the threats that require addressing. You can look in detail at this information in the background papers in the Bookham Business section of the Bookham Vanguard website, www.bookhamvanguard.co.uk. We will be consulting closely with the landlords, the retailers and the Bookham Retail and Business Association to examine how the planning policies put in place by the NDP can ensure the retail areas continue to flourish and improve the number of customers visiting. Of course, planning alone cannot achieve this, but it can put the foundations for future success in place. There is always a tension between the immediate demands of retailers and long-term planning. These tensions must not be ignored. Generally, the High Street presently offers a picture of reasonable health, but there are threats lurking in the shadows. At the time of the AMT survey, the vacancy rate of commercial ground floor units was 5%. This is encouragingly good and has improved since then with new lettings, but we do have 3 charity shops. In terms of footfall, unsurprisingly, the High Street is the busiest part of the centre, but that footfall is significantly lower than in comparable towns. Similarly, the dwell times are also lower. This is a threat, and Bookham Vanguard Task Force Economy Group will examine ways of keeping people longer once they have arrived. Current parking congestion is a threat. Paradoxically, it will get worse if dwell times improve. Recent retail trends suggest convenience shopping is growing, especially as petrol prices rise. The supermarket chains are seeking convenience sites as their destination property targets. Superstores are, however, becoming limited. However, if planning policy allows a supermarket to have a destination offer in or near Bookham, the existing independent convenience retailers will not survive. Quality claims alone will not protect them. Comparison goods retailers, that is, non-food, single product type retailers such as gift shops, clothes shops, electrical and white goods suppliers, are being increasingly threatened by online e-commerce retailers who can and will undercut retail pricing, as they do not bear the cost and cash flow burden of property, staff and stock. To survive and prosper in the longer term, Bookham's comparison retailers must be specialists and have viable, effective e-commerce and distribution offerings that reach a far larger consumer base beyond Bookham. They will need excellent broadband, online and distribution infrastructure to deliver this. Physical service retailers such as cleaners, hairdressers, beauticians, cafes and restaurants that cannot easily be replicated by e-commerce can prosper. Non-physical service retailers such as travel agents, banks, estate agents and betting shops are unlikely to survive in their current retail format. In fact, HSBC in the High Street has already announced its intention to close. To maintain the economic viability of the High Street, charity shops should be discouraged. They undermine the image and viability of the retail offer and provide unfair competition to true retailers. They don't pay for stock, staff, they don't pay full rates, nor pay full rent and taxes. They're a short-term fix that fills a space, but it destroys the longer-term health of the High Street. So, in summing up the current picture, whilst current vacancy rates are good, there is a real threat that they will increase over the next 10 years whilst the neighbourhood plan is in place. Earlier I talked about the possible benefits of keeping visitors in the High Street for longer, bringing life to the High Street by encouraging cafe culture, and the clever use of pavement areas may well increase the dwell time along the High Street and Church Road and offer viable alternative uses to combat the vacancy rate threat. The Neighbourhood Development Plan can contribute to building a strong, responsive and competitive economy by ensuring that sufficient land of the right type is available in the right places and at the right time to support growth and innovation in the retail areas of Bookham, and by identifying and coordinating development requirements, including the provision of infrastructure, it will help to ensure that the retail offer will survive and prosper. So, going forward, we need to examine in detail parking provision, the retail mix, encouraging restaurant and cafe uses and yet retaining our long-established high-quality retailers. We need to make best possible use of space available by looking at the physical appearance of the High Street, decluttering, that is, removing unnecessary signage. We need to look at environmental improvements, road and pavement surfaces, and consider the use of shared spaces. Traffic management is a key issue, and the workshop is something for next time. Your feedback is always welcome. This is your plan for your village. Please let us know what you think about your retail offer.